All right, and welcome, guys, to the actual inaugural episode of Perspective in Pokemon. For those of you who don't know, I recently rebranded the podcast because I just have been getting so much into Pokemon. I thought, you know what? We got to talk about it more. And I'm here with my boy, Anthony Nunez,
Yes.
aka Vintage Pokemon Hunter. And we were just chatting just now, and he reminded me that we actually met via Twitter. I had just posted something about a Blastoise, and then he contacted me, and man, we've just been chatting since.
Yeah, it's super random. I was just telling you, like, literally, I was like, I see all these toys a lot when I go to like Targets and WalMarts, and I'm like, there's got to be someone out here that's like making moves with these because I see them selling on eBay or whatever,
Mhm.
and I'm actually trying to look more into since I'm kind of always on Instagram, and that's only really where I am. I'm on YouTube and stuff too, but I'm mostly focused just on Instagram. So I was like, bro, there has to be people doing Pokemon on Twitter too. Like, there's no way because I'm on like for Pokemon, I'm always on Instagram, but in real life and whatever I do, I'm mostly on Twitter. Like that's where I mostly actually am. So it's like there's no way that there's not people on here too doing kind of the same thing. Like I feel like, and it is too because I found it. Like there's a community separate. Like there's a community on Instagram, there's a community on Reddit, there's a community on Twitter now. There's a community on YouTube. It's pretty crazy to see like so I'm trying to get them all linked together, but to see that there are all communities amongst these different social medias is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I honestly have been loving getting into the Pokemon community. Of all the online communities so far, at least that I've been in contact with, I feel like the Pokemon community might be my favorite.
Yeah, dude. So I actually I came from Gears of War, which is a very extremely toxic game. I played that game at a professional level for half my life at this point, and to come from something so toxic and like these are like people I know for 10 years don't support or whatever. The amount of support and the amount of just nice people that I found in like not even a year of being on Instagram specifically with Pokemon, it's so crazy. It's like literally refreshing. It's like wow, like this.
Yeah.
I guess this does kind of still exist. It's not like it's just Gears of War. Literally, it's the game that I the game that I chose. Super toxic, and then it's almost like the polar opposite. It's like I get into Pokemon, and it's like wow, this is cool. I could do this.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, do you mind giving just a brief background intro of who you are?
Yeah, man. So it's funny because I said this in the last podcast that I did, but this one girl said it perfectly. This one girl that I was talking to, she's like, "You're like a Renaissance man. Like, what don't you do? It's so funny for real." Um, dude. So it's funny because I was just telling my sister this, like, and we were talking about it. Originally, when I grew up, first thing I ever wanted to be was a marine biologist. Like, I was always fascinated with the water and the ocean. And then growing up, I took that and I went into more of like the biology side of it. So I went to school for biology. Noticed real quick that the math part of it, I was not messing with it, like the labs and chemistry, and there's too much. Then I went into networking. Got my certificates or whatever for networking. Never got my degrees. So I have like networking certificates that I can go and do whatever with. So off of that, just like basic stuff, basic networking stuff. I have a business. I was just talking to my partner Phil. So I have a business installing like networking, cameras, stuff like that. And I do work with my uncle as well, who gives us work. So that's what I do like on the side. Before coronavirus, I was actually working for the state of New Jersey and the government kind of where I was working for my aunt's practice in early intervention, which is like if a kid, you have a child and you think, it's not talking, not walking, whatever, you think there's an issue. Pretty much in my state, New Jersey, you call the 1-800 number and they send someone out to your house, to diagnose if your kid needs help. Pretty much I used to hire the doctors and nurses and teachers that went into the house and did that. So ever since coronavirus, that has been, we can't really go into people's
Yeah.
houses, especially here in New Jersey. It's horrible here. So that's been ever since March. I haven't worked there, but I've been working on the side of my business, and I've been trying to take this Pokemon like almost like into a business now. So it's like my plan is to not have to go back to my my Monday through Friday job because I have the Pokemon stuff. I'm trying more of like an investor and make it like a lot of the stuff that I bought over the last 6, 7, 8 months has been like inventory. Like yeah, I buy a lot of these toys and a lot of these other cool like food items and stuff, but a lot of like cards and a lot of purchases I've made were like for me to have a store and for me to have my eBay store and make this like something more serious. That's actually what I'm like in the process of doing right now, which is pretty crazy.
That's cool,
So,
man.
but along that way as well, like I said before, I've been playing Gears of War since I'm 14 years old. I've been traveling all over the world for it. I've been to Paris, I've been to Mexico City like 4 times. I've been all over Dallas. I've been to California like 4 times. Mostly all over the U.S., but yeah, Paris was crazy. Paris was by far the craziest. And then Mexico City, man, it's very random, but for some reason the game Gears of War is extremely big in Mexico City, so they keep having tournaments down there. And it's honestly like soccer matches, man. Like they treat you like you're a superstar down there. It's insane. It never something like you've never seen before. You would because the Gears of War compared to all other video games, like Gears of War was big like 10 years ago, man. Gears is not what it used to be at all in like the spectrum of esports or any game period right now. So it's like to go down there and see like 4,000 people going crazy for you. It's like, wow, I guess this game still is it's still relevant down here apparently. So they keep having tournaments down there. So back in March was the last tournament that I actually went to, and it was in Mexico City right before, literally the week before, the whole country got shut down.
Oh wow,
The last tournament that I was at.
dang, that's
Yeah, like
crazy.
literally the second week of March, like March 9th, I think we got back or something.
That's crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Real quick side story. That just reminded me because we actually had one of my cousins who, as a side note, like I had just met him for the first time,
Mhm.
but he was here in the U.S. Right before Rona shutdown happened for some kind of school thing. He got stuck here for like 4 months. He could not leave
Yeah, I believe it. Where was he from?
Ecuador.
Yeah, yeah. They're not playing with that.
Yeah, it's
Insane.
crazy.
What was he staying with you or what?
Yeah, so my mom and dad, they just lived like 10 minutes from us,
Okay.
and so he was staying with them.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was just crazy stuff, man. This year's been crazy.
Thankfully, had family out there. You know, think about all the
Yeah,
people that got stuck that don't have family wherever the hell they were stuck.
yeah, for reals.
What do
All right,
you do,
but
man? I've been meaning to ask you that. What do you do? Like, obviously, I talked to you about how I met you through Pokemon and stuff, but like, what do you actually do?
so I work with my dad. We have a family company that my dad started. I don't even remember when. It's a health company.
Okay.
So my dad, he is. I say this, not because he's my dad, but like legitimately, he's probably one of the foremost experts on health in the world.
Okay.
But like no one knows who he is.
He's one of those like low key.
Yeah, and so like I do the marketing. I do social media, mostly social media and marketing, just
Okay.
because I'm trying to get his name out there more.
Yeah.
Because he like literally he's met with like heads of state, religious leaders, like business leaders. He's helped people reverse like type 2 diabetes, like
Yeah, dude.
all this-
Yeah, crazy, bro. Like I was telling you before, I worked for my aunt that does the early intervention stuff. The only reason that she was able to get her own practice is she like wrote this book that two people have literally like said that it cured their children's autism. Like it's like like you would never know that they had it. Like obviously they still genetically have it, but you would never know. Like they're completely, they call it mainstreamed or streamlined, where they're like you would think they're just a normal person. And the one dude, what's crazy, what she told me about, was the guy who started Guitar Hero, the guy who literally invented Guitar Hero. Their kid was, got treatment for my aunt, and you would never know. It's pretty crazy. So it's like when that happened, the state was like, all right, okay, you actually know what you're talking about. We're gonna give you your own company. No, but yeah, that's cool. So you've been doing that, like you've always worked there with your dad?
Yeah, so I've worked with my dad like on and off, mostly on, pretty much since I was 17. Um, Took a 2-year break and then worked with him again, and then there was like a 6-month period where I wasn't working with him. But pretty much since I was 17, I've worked with him.
Cool.
I've been doing the marketing though for him pretty much this year.
I was about to say now you're starting to realize how important that is, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been so he knows this. He already knows all this. Like me and my sister, we've been telling him like we gotta do more like stuff online. We gotta do more stuff online. And then Rona happened, and he's like, you know what? We should do something.
Yeah, dude. I was talking to my one friend Phil about this. How it's crazy that like a lot of these, I don't want to say stubborn and ignorant, but they kind of are old people. They're like forced to adapt because of coronavirus.
Mhm.
Like legit, like they have to. There's no other choice. This one card shop down by me, I looked it up because I'm looking up like card shops where I am. I'm in New Jersey, looking up, all different card shops, see if I can get a deal. This was like 2-3 months ago when like Burning Shadows, Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, all those sets started to go out of print.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see if any card shop, shops around me had it. Like, let me go get one. Why not? I looked it up, and again, Jersey's not that big. Like New Jersey, top to bottom, you could drive in like 3 hours. It's not big
Yeah.
at all. So I looked it up, dude. This one place was like 2 hours away. I was like, "There's no way I'm driving 4 hours for a Burning Shadows booster box." Even it was $120. Like, all right, those are 250 now, two something now,
Uh-huh.
$120. So I called the guy, called the shop, and I was talking to the guy. I was like, "Hey, is there any way that you could mail this to me?" And he's like, typically I wouldn't, but because of the coronavirus, most of the stuff we're doing is online, so I don't see a problem doing that, and just ship it to me for an extra $5. What I'm saying? Like something like that. A
Uh-huh.
local card shop, they're not shipping that. Like they would just have it in their store. You could tell it was 2 hours away. It was like down South Jersey. Like they're super old school, but now the super old school is being forced into having to use this internet. Which is pretty crazy.
For sure. Because my dad's immigrant, like through and through entrepreneur, like grind it out.
That's
Like
super
it's
awesome.
actually funny you mentioned Mexico City because he actually does a lot of business in Mexico.
Wow. Yeah.
He actually met the president of Mexico. He asked him to come down.
Wow.
And like talk to him and their staff about health.
Yeah.
And
think about that.
So,
there's levels. There's levels, man. That's up there.
And so he's just one of those guys who goes down, just works, like literally will sleep at like a bus station.
You're saying like health. What does he do though exactly? Like what is it like?
So he the short version is he helps people with chronic illnesses reverse them.
Wow. So that's just okay.
So so he's anything from type 2 diabetes, obesity, chronic stress and anxiety, depression. That he works with people, and also right now he trains doctors and therapists. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's probably his biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy. That's such a crazy field to get into. Like, how do you start doing that? That's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like this would be like a whole nother like podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could go into that for probably another 20 minutes.
It's crazy. He's just the stuff he's been talking about and has learned about just how the mind affects your physical health and topic for another time.
I mean, I'm down to jump into that, but it's pretty, I believe it, man. Like I said, I hired these doctors and these nurses. So these are people I talk to, 20 or 30 times a day. Since I definitely have an idea of, how crazy it gets with some of them. And a lot of these doctors I talk to are like physical therapists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, stuff like that. So these are, people that went to school for 8 years. They at least they all have their doctorates. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, but delving back into Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that's why we're here.
So question though, how did you get into Pokemon? I'm assuming you probably were into it as a kid.
Yeah. So, like everyone my age, I'm 28. So, dude, Pokemon was big when I was 7 years old. Like that was the first thing, I feel like I truly fell in love with. I was all over it, man. The games, I'll never forget. Like I have blue version up there sealed. Where is it? Right up there. I have it sealed, man. That's the first thing that got me back into it in 2013. So when I was a kid, collected the games. I'll never forget getting blue version with my dad. I didn't have really many of these toys, which is funny that I actually got into being mostly a toy collector because I never really had any of these toys. I was more of the video game and the card guy. I love cards when I was a kid. Then from Pokemon, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! In like 2002 when Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out. Then after Yu-Gi-Oh! I got into sports cards around 2003, 2004. And then after 2004, I completely stopped everything. It's funny, I just found my sports binder. I still have it over there. And I'm pissed because I wish I had my Pokemon binder from when I was a kid. I swear my mom gave it away. I swear. She keeps saying it's in the basement, put away somewhere, but I swear she gave it away, man. I don't care what she says. I know she did. It would have got pulled out by now. Like there's no way. So, just from being a kid, not really caring about my stuff. That's how I lost a lot of my GameCube and N64 games, and I'm pissed about it still. But then around 2011, 2012, I got really heavy into like designer sneakers, like high-end sneakers, like talking $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 sneakers, are really expensive shit. And I had like 8 pairs of Yeezys. Like when the Yeezys first came out, when they were like $3,000 a piece, I had 8 pairs of them. Crazy shit. So I was just flipping back and forth for 2.5, almost 3 years. I was solid into sports. Like honestly, kind of like how I was into Pokemon. I was really into sports, and not only the sport world, but again, sneakers, because that revolves around the sport world between, the main ones are like Durant, Kobe, and Jordan were the main three ones, that I sold. Um, just made a lot of money off that shit, man. I was making, because I would go to conventions. Like I just went to a toy convention yesterday, right? Back in the day with sneakers, there's kids that come here, like they're not leaving this convention without selling their shoes. That's pretty much how they look at it, And I'm that guy waiting around for the last day, just getting deals off of people that want to get rid of shit. So I would literally get deals at the convention and then just go on Facebook it wasn't even Facebook Marketplace back then. It's crazy. They didn't even have Marketplace. It was Facebook groups. Like you had to join all these different groups on Facebook. So I would take shoes from conventions and then sell them on these groups on Facebook. And that's how I made all my money. Like I never, not once sold a sneaker on eBay back then. Like I kept a couple sneakers and sold them eventually on eBay, like last year, but I never sold anything on eBay. It was all locally. It was all through Facebook and all through like local conventions. And I had about, I want to say I got rid of like $20,000 worth of sneakers I had at one point. That's when I broke it all down. I kept a couple, and then all that 20 grand for a while. I was young at this point. This is 2011, 2012. I'm 28 now, so I was like 20, 19 when I was doing this. I was super young. So I wasn't really working back then. I was like delivering pizza, doing stupid shit. So for 6-8 months, I did whatever I wanted with that money. Dude, I'm 19, 20 years old. None of my friends have money like this. None of my friends are doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so I could do whatever the hell I want. And dude, I don't know what happened. The next year was 2013. I don't know what randomly made. Honestly, now I was thinking about this, like what made me get back into like the smart investing of Pokemon. Back then, man, it's still crazy how big they are on TV. Pawn Stars is super huge, and the other one was Storage Wars, the ones with the storage facilities.
Yeah.
So, dude, I was big into those shows, and what I understood from those dudes was when I started to understand is when something is around 20 years old and it's still relevant, it becomes like collectible. And then around 30, it's around 20 or 30 years old, it's considered like vintage or whatever for an actual like collectible market and like the demand for it. So this crazy shit that's happening right now with Pokemon, I thought was going to happen 5 years ago. Like real shit for 7 years ago, for real. Like it was 2013, which was the 18th year of Pokemon. And I'm like, dude, it's going to start getting crazy the next 2 years. Like, what the hell? So starting in 2013, the first thing that ever was purchased is I got to grab it, bro. I have to grab it. This shit is so crazy, man. So this is the first thing I ever bought. Blue version sealed. Beginning of this year, this was $3 grand. Now it's over $7. I got this in 2013 for, I believe it was $400.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
dude,
no.
Pokemon, you don't understand. The prices were crazy back then, man. I think about it every day that I'm pissed that I didn't buy more cards over the years. So over the years, man, so from 2013, that's the first thing I ever got. I actually, extremely long story short, I had a friend that owed me $600 from 2 years before that. And he never paid me. And then he came to my friend's house one day, and this kid had money, and he bought me a GoPro. Back then, it's like $400. The GoPro and that. And that was, and we called it even. And that's ever since, man, I've been diving deep. As you can see, I'm more into like the random sealed product. I'm mostly into like Hasbro items and toys. So for years, like these toys you can see like right behind me, these the Gengar and all these toys are up here on that top shelf, on this top shelf. I have probably like 100 of toys like this just because that's what I mostly collected over the years. Then I started getting into like vintage Pokemon backpacks. Got into like a lot of those. Then even this last year, I started getting into a lot of T-shirts and a lot of like the food product over here. So it's really crazy how something that I loved and something that I just did over the last 6-7 years because I loved it and just always wanted to have it. I never knew Pokemon was going to get like this. Like when it didn't happen, like I said, I thought at 18 years, like, damn, man, when the 20th anniversary happened, it's going to get real crazy. And little to my knowledge, it kind of did. But again, I wasn't in the card world, so I didn't know. I didn't really know. 2016 is when stuff started really booming for Pokemon. And I remember seeing him, like, hearing a lot of Z&G Emporium on YouTube. I don't know if you follow him, but he's a really good follow. Definitely check him out, man. He's crazy. He was talking about how in 2017 was the first year when people really started using like PSA, and so the market started to get like a little wonky. where it wasn't really worth it to open a booster pack anymore, depending on the cards. Like back then, so 3 years ago, even just 3 years ago, most of the time, if you open a booster pack, you could profit off of it. That's pretty much how it was. Now it's kind of like a gamble where most people are going to just hold the sealed product on the older cards, So it's like I've been learning a lot during my way here, and especially just from being in a lot of different areas of Pokemon, and I feel like I know a lot, but I'm still pretty new when it comes to the cards because I've only been this heavy back into the cards for like the last not even a year. It's August. I mean, wow, sorry, it's October. I want to say like November, like the end of November. Right? You know what actually got me back into the card game? I don't know if you remember last year on Black Friday, they had a thing for Hidden Fates where it was $10 tins at Target. Like I seen that on Reddit, dude. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. So I was big on Reddit. I've always been huge on Reddit. I love Reddit. And I was just lurking on Reddit, and it just popped up on my homepage like, "Hey, bro, like these Hidden Fates tins are $10 a piece." Then I started diving into Hidden Fates. Then I started diving into the cards, and now, now I have literally, dude. If you've seen my desk right now, you'd laugh. There's literally thousands of cards. Um, it's really crazy, man. I love it. I've always, like I said, man, I've always loved Pokemon, and to make this and to the fact where I'm like about to turn it into like a business for real is kind of crazy to me. But at the same time, I know I worked hard for it, and I know I put a lot of money into it, and especially a lot of time. Like that, I failed in so many other things that I feel like I finally am doing something right. I don't know if you watch Gary Vee, but I have friends that are really watch. Dude, if you could fail 20 times and you could win once, that's all that matters. Dude, like I said with sneakers, I didn't really fail in sneakers. I did really well in sneakers. Then I got so after sneakers, like 2017, I got heavy into crypto. Right before it started booming and everyone got into it, I actually made good money in crypto, and I just put that all away. So for me, understanding how markets work more now, it gives me a better understanding of how to assess Pokemon and to know what to buy, to know what to hold. That was the crazy part when I got into the cards, dude. I didn't know, like, dude, what do I grade? What do I sell raw? What do I hold for the future? What do I sell now? I didn't understand any of that, so I had to go and learn. But honestly, I learned a lot off of YouTube. I learned a lot off of one dude, actually. If you check him out on YouTube, if you're looking to ever make Pokemon into a business, this is the one YouTube channel I recommend this for everybody. Old School Pokemon on YouTube. School spelled Schools SKOOL. So it's Old School Pokemon. Dude, check him out. He put out like 3 or 4 videos of how he runs it. Pretty much all the secrets that no one wants to tell you, this guy tells you. Not kidding. Like he breaks it all the way down. He shows you his profits on his eBay page. He shows you how he ships the items, how he sources them, everything. So that dude, I don't know how I stumbled upon him. I think TCA Gaming, I think he traded something with TCA Gaming, and I watch a lot of TCA Gaming videos on YouTube. So then he shouted out Old School Pokemon. Dude, I went to this guy's page, and I changed that changed my whole perspective and changed the way that I look at it as more of like a business point with certain cards. Because now I know how to. Before that I literally did not know how to do that. So now it's like, okay, now I buy things because I love them, but now I also buy things for an investment. But the problem is, I know I've seen you. One of the questions is, are you more of a collector or more of an investor? So I'm gonna go into that question right now, dude. I'm mostly a collector. That's the thing, man. I just told you, like, so over the last 7 years, I never really sold anything. I just always bought stuff. So even the thought of selling some stuff is like, I don't know, man. Like I went to a toy convention yesterday, and I'm grabbing some of the stuff that I want to sell, and it's like, it's crazy how much I don't want to part with things. So I'm mostly a collector, but I'm trying to become, I'm trying to take it more serious as like the business end of it. That's where I'm trying to get right now. So I'm literally, like, it's crazy because I'm literally in the process currently right now. I'm thinking of what name I want to use for my business, because Vintage Pokemon Hunter is what I'm known as and everything, right? But I think it looks pretty clean. I have the Instagram and I want to make it like, I'm thinking like a brand. Pokemon Nostalgia, all one word. I think it just looks cooler, and it's not 2 ends, it's 1 end. So I think it looks cooler, more uniform. Like Vintage Pokemon Hunter is like so big. So I'm thinking more of, do I want to do that? But another thing that I was thinking, dude, I was like, I don't know if you know the Pokemon Center New York. Have you heard of it? You know what that is?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, dude. So it was literally a Pokemon store in New York City, and I live in New Jersey, so it was like 30 minutes away. I actually went to the store when I was a kid, and now it's the Nintendo store, Nintendo World in New York City. But when it was the Pokemon Center, man, that place was legendary. So I was thinking of making my account and like having a store or whatever. I was thinking of making it Pokemon Center, New Jersey. So I'm so that's the crazy part. Is like that's where I'm stuck at. I'm like, do I want to just keep running with vintage Pokemon Hunter? Do I want to make it Pokemon Nostalgia? Do I want to go with Pokemon Center, New Jersey? It's like that. That's where I'm at. It's like I have everything planned, but the name. I mean, damn, man, what name do I want to really go with? You know?
Oh man, dude, you just gotta pick what dude because they're all good names.
Yeah, it's like damn. It's like I could go, like I said, I could go what I'm already known by. I could go with like what looks cleaner and what I mostly post about, which is Pokemon nostalgia. And then it's like, well, Pokemon Center, New Jersey, people would be like, oh shit, that's cool, and that's like a cool name, and you would want to check it out because what the hell, this exists here, you know?
Yeah, that's sweet, man. So, real quick then,
Yeah.
getting into your actual. Well, actually, quick side note. It's just funny you say you're more of a collector, because I feel like I started out more as an investor. Like I would buy stuff and just like sell the market price, price. And now as I've gotten into it for over a year now, I feel like more and more like a kid. And so things are starting to get a little harder to sell.
It's like damn, yeah, but it's like because you enjoy it, man. That's the thing is you enjoy it, so it's not really a bad thing. And that's the thing too is a lot of the items that I buy are like so obscure that there's no way that there's not a market for it. Because it's like I swear a lot of the things that I get is like, well, how do you put a price on this when I'm probably the only one that really has this for sale right now?
Yeah.
Especially with like the random sealed items. But you too, man. Like, so you grab those Blastoise toys, right? You know for a fact that you could sit on those toys for 10 years if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going to go down. Like, it's impossible for that to go down. It's a toy that came out once that it's a Blastoise. It's one of the most popular Pokemon. You know, so stuff like that is something I've been getting into and like digging deeper into. So, like, yeah, I'm a collector at that aspect, but I'm also collecting as an investment. You know, like a physical stock, I guess, if you could say whatever.
Yeah,
in whatever
sure.
I have. That's pretty much what these cards are. It's a physical asset. Like I have right here, like I'm selling this PSA 8 Celebi, right? I have this on eBay right now. This piece of art, if I want to put it up for $200, I could put it up for $200. But the market for it right now is the last one sold, I think, for $100. Mine's actually the cheapest one right now on eBay for $130, right? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Eventually, it'll hit that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. A lot of people will put the price down or whatever, try and sell it. I'm gonna just leave it at 130. I already know I don't want that card. I already know I have another one, and I've lost whatever sentimental value to it. I'm just gonna leave it. You know, that's the market price for it, and it's crazy because, like I said, it's the cheapest on eBay. So eventually, someone's gonna buy it. You know, so somebody eventually is gonna come along and needs that Celebi, they're gonna come and get it. So stuff like that, I'll leave. But if I want to sell something kind of quick, like I'll try and go, like you said, around market price, or you know, I'll cut it like a couple dollars under the market price to try and just sell something off real quick. Definitely do that a lot. I do that a lot with cards, honestly. Like if I'm gonna go, I have again a couple cards right here. I just got yesterday at the Toy Con, like a Vaporeon and a Hitmonchan for pretty cheap. Like, you know, I'll throw those on eBay. I had to start doing claims on Instagram too, man. It's crazy. I don't know if you've seen, but on Instagram, a lot of people do like claim sales.
Yeah.
Where they'll just post whatever they have for a set price, and whoever does it first, you know, gets it. I don't really do those a lot on Instagram for some reason. I don't know why I don't.
Yeah, those are actually I found those are when it's someone reputable,
they're pretty cool.
Really good way to get cards for under market price.
Yeah, I have a friend Swooby that does that. Dude, insane. If you follow him on Instagram, if you don't, his name is Swooby Pulls, SWUBIE Pulls, all one word. And he's out in California, actually. So this dude picks up. Yeah, actually, I hope he's all right, good now. He got into a car accident a little bit ago, so he's been out the game for a little bit. Pretty bad car accident, but he's getting back into it. Dude, this guy was picking up like 4 or 5 binders, collections a week off of people. And, you know, a lot of it he was selling on Instagram Live. So I've definitely bought a couple. Dude, I got like 12 hollows one time off of him for like $100, bro. It's like, what? You can't beat it, man. They're super mint, too. So I want to talk about going into so I stay on this topic. So a little like Wizards of the Coast hollows, bro. I swear, in like 5 years, you're not going to see them. Like you're just not gonna. They're going to be so expensive and outpriced. Like any Wizards of the Coast right now, there's the big hype on the first edition base set, which always will be again the best set ever. There's no denying it because it's the first. Mm-hmm. Once that hype dies off of the first edition and goes into all of the rest of it, it's going to get so crazy. It already has like pretty much it all has stemmed down from that. It's like, all right, well, like you've seen Logic, you've seen Logan Paul, all these big names getting into it. It's all going to stem down from that. But you see all these big names, they're all looking at mostly one thing, right? The first set, like or the first three sets. So, I really think once they all get into the other stuff, stuff is going to seriously get really crazy, especially just Wizards of the Coast. I think that's the best buy in the next 5 years. Any Wizards of the Coast hollow, for real. That's my opinion.
100%, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially because once it's what happens. Once the first edition base set, once it gets to a certain price, people can't afford it.
Yeah, literally, it's already pretty much getting that.
Yeah, and then people are going to go to base set 2.
Yep.
Oh, Team Rockets. Oh, Neo Genesis. All these other cards that aren't at that level yet. It's just going to all trickle down.
Dude, I'm so pissed because the beginning of this year, right? And I just never pulled the trigger. I don't know why I didn't. The beginning of this year, first edition PSA 9, you can get a Nidoking, Zapdos, Poliwrath. You can get most of them for under $500. First edition, bro. Not kidding. It was like $300 for Nidoking PSA 9 first edition. That card is like $3,000 now.
Dude,
See that right there explains the market, man. It's so nuts. The same thing, bro. PSA 9 Charizard, the beginning of this year was $280. Never bought one. I'm so pissed. The one that I'm the most mad about, Shadowless Blastoise, the beginning of this year. I bought another PSA 9 unlimited one for some reason when I could have spent an extra $200, and I gotten a Shadowless one. Shadowless Blastoise PSA 9 was $400 at the beginning of this year. It's now like $3,000. Like what? I'm so that one I'm pissed about. That one hurts.
Well, man, I've told my wife this several times, but it's like last year I was getting into cards last year, and I knew there was going to be money in it. Like I was flipping some cards, I was buying cards, but I was still like, man, do I want to pay $80 for a card?
Yes.
That's kind of high.
Yes.
And I was kicking myself. Oh my gosh, that's now like a $600 card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's the calculated risk that I'm talking about. You gotta just some of these you just gotta take the risk on it. Screw it. So like right now, right, the risk that I'm taking, and I think again it's calculated. It should be at least. Right now, right before all this first edition base set boomed out, the hot thing in Pokemon was Gold Stars. I don't know if you're aware of that. What that even is, like Gold Star, that era of like 2006, 2007, 2008. So right after Gold Stars comes Level X cards. Level X cards are still super slept on. They're really low population. Like they're hard to grade. There's not that many of them. I got a Gengar the other day, a Level X. Like it might be a 10. I bought that card for $35. If it comes back at 10, it's a $1,200 card. For real. Like you could tell when I got it the other day that it was literally pulled and just put it right in a sleeve. Looked at it. I took it out. I was like, wow. Like actually impressive. So first time I ever went to a flea market and a guy was charging market price, but I couldn't say no because it's this mint. I'm not going to take a gamble, on a card getting shipped to me. Because even some of these Level X cards, man, they're so hard to come by. You got to go on TCG Player to even get them, or Troll and Toad. I don't know have you ever used those sites? Have you used those sites? Yeah. You realize how most of the items that you go and you purchase, they don't have pictures on them. Mm-hmm. Like you just purchased a random card. If you ever bought a raw card on those websites, most of the time they don't put pictures up. They'll just put the condition. Mm-hmm. So it's funny, that same exact card that I bought the other day at the flea market, I have taken the gamble on before and spent $40 and bought a near mint one. I got it and there was little dinks on it and stuff. Like you could tell it's not going to get a 10. Like it's probably going to get like an 8. So I'd rather, instead of taking a gamble on getting another hopefully mint one, I just bought it right in front of my face because it was there. So stuff like that. It's like you got to like calculate some of these risks into it.
Yeah, and even I've gone on that site or those sites before to try to find one that is near mint or says near mint, but they only have heavy play, light play. So even it's hard to even come by some of these cards that are even supposedly.
Exactly. So, dude, when I seen that Gengar Level X, it wasn't even in a binder. I pulled up to a flea market. Dude had a couple binders, and then he pulled out like a deck box. He gave me the deck box. He was like, "Here, you can look through these too." I was like, "Dude, there's no way." They probably bought it off some kid. Like whoever kid had that, just put it right in the sleeve and was like, "Yeah, this is my Gengar." Okay, thanks. I'll take that. And it's pretty crazy because the last couple weeks, last couple months actually, I've been going to a lot of like local shops and flea markets. And by me here in New Jersey, man, I've been getting extremely lucky. It's almost like every weekend I've been getting something like locally. It's insane. I never thought that this existed. I was like sleeping on it for so long. I remember like almost like getting into new random Pokemon probably like 2 or 3 months into me being into cards. I'm still like a noob. I remember looking up and Googling it, like card shops in New Jersey. And I remember there was like not many I could find. Then a couple months later, I was like, nah, bro, there has to be. There's no way that there has to be stuff around here still. And I really dove deep into it. I started looking up like different Googles I would do, like comic book stores, Magic the Gathering stores, Yu-Gi-Oh stores near me. I found like probably 100 comic shops that I didn't know of that all have Pokemon. Not kidding. And then my one friend Mike actually put me onto this one place, probably about 30 minutes away from me. And oh my god, I probably spent over like $2,000 there for real. I got a lot of shadowless cards. I got a lot of booster boxes from there. And dude, these guys they like Magic, so they don't really know Pokemon. Like they do, but they don't really care, because they make so much money off of Magic, and Magic is their bread and butter. That I could get whatever I want. I remember going there. Man, I'm sick I didn't buy them. I have a video of it. They had they had 3 shadowless Blastoise. I bought all 3 of them, but they had 2 shadowless Charizards that they wanted $350 each for. They were a little beat up, but those cards each are probably over $1,000, both of them easily. But I just was being an asshole and didn't want to spend the $350 on them. So that I'll regret, because I know I won't see a shadowless Charizard for a little bit. Like that, that's hard to come by. Shadowless cards are extremely hard to come by. Period. Right now, that's honestly one of my favorite sets too. I low key like shadowless more than the first edition. Just I think it looks cleaner.
So you kind of really mentioned you've been going to flea markets.
Yeah, man, a crazy amount.
So how else are you finding all this stuff? Like, how are you finding the toys, the cards? Like, what?
Yeah. So besides the local stuff, man, besides fleas and like garage sales and stuff like that, and local card shops, like I want to say everything in this picture. So the mac and cheese boxes I got on OfferUp actually. Everything else that you see behind me, I got on eBay, literally. Actually, besides that Mewtwo and Mew, that sign up there, I got that off of Instagram. Actually, some guy locally, in a Facebook group posted it, and then I followed him on Instagram, and then we chatted it up. And I drove 3 hours down to Maryland, and I grabbed that sign off him. It was pretty cool. But mostly, every single thing that I get is sourced. I want to say like 90% of the items I source is through eBay. But I don't really like give. I definitely have like a secret sauce that I don't like to give out, but I kind of will a little bit here. So man, you just got to look up obscure searches. So there's some searches I'll put in the craziest shit on eBay and find some crazy stuff, because no one would think to ever search this. One other thing I'll give another like secret sauce type of thing. So like this right here, right? Pokemon Sundown vitamin bottle. Or like right back here is a Pokemon Colgate toothpaste. So whatever like obscure random items I come across, I'll Google them, or I'll Google it and I'll eBay it, so I understand what else, if they had anything else like it, so I know what to look for. Or just on eBay, like I'll type in Pokemon Colgate on eBay. Instead of just Pokemon toothpaste, I'll type in the name brand. I've gone as far as literally Googling top companies in 1999 and then just typing in Pokemon company. Like I've done that, and you'd be surprised what you find doing some stuff like that. That's what I do, man. It's mostly, like I said, mostly eBay, and now I look at a lot on Facebook Marketplace. I actually got a decent amount of. I got a bunch off of Letgo before Letgo got shut down. Rest in peace. I loved Letgo, so now Letgo got bought up by OfferUp. So it's between those, man. So it's eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. Those are the main 4 places that I source, and they all vary from. What's crazy is because I have a lot of friends that do the same thing. It varies on where you live. What's the best? Some people like to use, like I know in California, I have friends that are in California. They get a lot of stuff on OfferUp, but OfferUp by me locally is just not good. Locally to me in New Jersey, the best I found is Facebook Marketplace. So that's what I stick to, and then just mostly eBay. And now, like I said before, where I got that Mewtwo Mew sign, I got that actually off of a Facebook group. So there's a couple Facebook groups that do like vintage Pokemon stuff as well, which is mostly what I'm into, all this random sealed stuff. That between that Facebook group and all the rest that I just named, yeah, that's where I get most of my items. It's crazy because a lot of people ask me that question, like, bro, where do you get this shit from? A lot of people also forget to. I've been doing this for 7 years, buying the most random stuff. I'm looking right here on my right. I still have 2 whole storage bins full of stuff that I haven't even gone through yet. That's still upstairs from storage over the last 7 years. I know a lot of it though is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. I got heavy into that. They had like plushes. They had a bunch of like random things. I got a lot of 20th anniversary stuff here. I know for a fact. So I really haven't gone through those bins very much yet. But yeah, man. So it's just like I said, it's making those calculated buys over the years, and it's really, if you could tell, it's just shit that I like, man. That's really what it was. Just I never thought to do this, I never thought to like display all this, make content, none of that. That was never like a point that ever came across my mind until I stumbled upon the Pokemon community on Instagram, and that made me go into like the Pokemon community on YouTube, and then that made me, just dive into it all. So now, I'm running with it. And I really do love making the content every day. I post on YouTube every single day and on Instagram. Like right now, like I can't wait to after this. I can't wait to just like I'm into a lot of vintage Pokemon shirts. Recently, I told you that. Dude, I bought probably like 50 shirts in the last 6 months, easily. Like I can't wait till after this interview. I'm literally gonna go grab a shirt, post it on Instagram, just because I haven't posted a Pokemon shirt in a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy too because again, for the love of it, one of my friends on Instagram, Ascent206, shout out him. He has, man, you could tell that he literally loved Pokemon so much as a kid, and he lives up in Seattle, like Washington. And his family, man, they just took everything and put it away. Anything Pokemon you could think of, he has. So crazy. He has first edition boxes. He has base set boxes. He has hundreds of base set booster packs. Uh-huh. But this man, he had for sale, and it was random. You know how on Instagram you could post 10 pictures, like up to 10 pictures on one post? This dude posted 10 pictures. He had two items for sale in a bundle, but it was in 10 pictures. So it was a Pokemon Stadium poster, which goes for like $60 on eBay. But then it was also this Pokemon Stadium t-shirt that I never seen before. I'm like, dude, this shirt looks like I need this. Like, what the hell? This is so cool. He wanted $120 for the both of them, and I was like, that's a little much, but I'll take it. And like I said to you, and you follow me on Instagram or whatever, dude, I post every day like normal, and I post like usually late at night, like 11, 12 at night, like every other day, super normal. Make a post on Instagram, post it. My phone was actually gonna die, so I threw my phone on the charger, went outside for like 10 minutes, came back inside, grabbed my phone, and my phone was blowing up, like completely blown up. Apparently, the Pokemon Stadium Charizard shirt that I got is like the rarest Pokemon shirt that ever existed. It was only available for 1 month in Nintendo Power Magazine. You had to call Nintendo Power Magazine and tell them about the deal that you wanted, and they sent it with your order.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like a ridiculous way to even get it. So I still have that shirt sealed. So when I posted that and it started blowing up, all these big vintage pages started following me. So I'm not kidding. I believe that was a big factor that got a lot of the vintage community of t-shirts into Pokemon, and they started buying up everything on eBay. I'm happy that I was kind of like early into that, because now, dude, if you go on eBay and you look up vintage Pokemon shirt, there's nothing. There's literally nothing cool. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how stuff gets wiped. Mm-hmm. And I know that, and I don't want to say that like, oh, like I did that or whatever, but bro, I'm telling you, I know for a fact that that's one of the reasons, because all these big pages follow me. And a lot of these big pages, a lot of these big like vintage pages have been trying for like 3 or 4 months, ever since I posted it, to buy that shirt off of me. I'm not kidding. The highest offer on that shirt, by the way, is $2,500. Oh,
wow.
For a t-shirt.
Uh-huh. For a t-shirt, like over $100 on it.
Dude, I spent $60 on it. Realistically. Yeah, 120 for both of them. The poster's worth $60, so realistically, I spent about $60 on that. Insane. Dude, absolutely.
I mean, you could sell that like I don't even know, $2,000, $3,000, or 3,000%, like.
Yeah, man. Like, and again, something, dude, that I didn't buy this to flip it. I literally bought it because it looked cool. I was like, well, I don't really like Charizard like that, but it's Pokemon Stadium promo. Like, Charizard looks pretty tough on this shirt. Like, screw it, why not? So I'm definitely happy that I got into shirts early, because now they're all wiped. So again, man, just like I said before, making calculated risks, knowing what's going to be hot next, you know?
Mhm.
So, like I said before, level X, that's my in card world, that's my plan. Like I'm always looking at mint level X cards and trying to get those for super mint and being able to grade them because they're still, like I said, they're super low population. Even the higher grades, like a PSA 8, PSA 9, there's just not a lot of them that exist. And now, if you look back, man, those packs are expensive that they come in. Those packs they're expensive, man. So to open a pack and get a level X card fresh out of it is going to cost you at least $500.
Mhm.
Like, there's no way at this point of where Pokemon is. Like I said, man, right after the Gold Star, then you go into the level X. That's the next thing that's hot in my opinion. Also, I've been into collecting a lot of newer set booster boxes.
Mhm.
I have 30 booster boxes of Burning Shadows. 30. My average price paid is $120 on those 30. That's something again that I knew, and though I think the boxes they're all like 250 now, 240, 250.
Yeah.
So I've doubled my investment on those 30 boxes, which is insane. A lot of people would sell that, but I'm not. There's no way. They printed that set for almost 4 years, and people bought and ripped it apart. It wasn't. That's the thing it wasn't like evolutions. People bought evolutions from the beginning to hold. People's like, oh my god, they're reprinting the base set. Let me buy 20 boxes of this and hold them. And then the price didn't move on those for 4 years. The price on evolutions boxes just started moving maybe 3 months ago.
Mhm.
Finally, not $90 anymore because now they finally stopped making them. But you got to understand too, man. Think about how many of those are seriously in rotation. There's so many evolution boxes, whereas something as Burning Shadows, again, it wasn't really hyped up because of the Charizard. It was hyped up originally, but hype kind of died down on it. Dude, that Charizard in Burning Shadows is literally one of the hardest cards ever to pull in Pokemon.
Mhm.
So when I feel like people are going to chase that in 5 or 10 years, Burning Shadows, in my opinion, is probably one of the best buys that you could buy right now in the store. Still, even with everyone's going and wiping all the Champions Path. They're all wiping Hidden Fates. The next best thing up that I think that you could buy in the store, in my opinion, for like an investment part, is Burning Shadows.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, and like you said, you still can. Like it's a little harder, but you still can find them in stores.
Yeah, yeah. Especially now, like Target just did they did a reprint of a restock of the 3-pack boosters. There's a
Mhm.
lot of those like floating around Targets. Uh, Target still gets randomly they get Burning Shadows Elite Trainer boxes. I have probably like 20 of those put away, but they still get those randomly. Another good deal, actually, if you could still find it, this is the best deal. Hold on. The best deal that you might be able to still find in your stores, this right here. This still
Oh,
exists in a lot of $30, man. This was 30. This is still $30 retail, but for a long time you were able to price match that with GameStop.
uh-huh.
Game GameStop, dude, had like I think like a sale for $14. So if you went into Target, you could price match them. So I got all those boxes for $13. There's 5 packs of Shining Legends in those. Shining Legend packs goes for like $10 a piece.
Mhm.
Last I looked, at least they were going for almost $10 a piece. I'm
Yep.
sure that the hype has died down a little bit on Shining Legends ever since all this new stuff came out. But yeah, man. And again, Shining Legends is another set that for 3 years they printed it. People didn't really care about it. But now all this new hype about it, people understand. The holiday set, like holiday sets are super hyped now because people understand it doesn't come out in booster boxes. Like that box is the only way besides the ETB that you could really get Shining Legends. So it's
So
just
kind of staying on that topic though,
God.
because this was a question that I've actually been asked a few times this week. So with the holiday sets, the recent hype in Pokemon's been reprinting sets. They reprinted Hidden Fates. They're going to reprint Champion's Path. You got people like Logan Paul, Logic doing stuff that bring more people into the hobby and collecting and investing. A question I'm getting often lately is, do you think that because of all this attention, all the reprinting, that Pokemon is going to enter like a junk era, like they did like with the sports cards in the 80s and 90s?
I don't see it happening anymore. I don't see like how Pokemon it was so big in 1991, 1992, 1991, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and then around 2003 it died out. It really did die out. People don't realize this, but Pokemon was pretty dead from like
Mhm.
2003 to like 2011. Like there was a big gap of Pokemon was just Not that was irrelevant because the games were always super relevant. The games always kept Pokemon alive.
Mhm.
But then the cards weren't really, sought after or whatever for that gap of like 8 or 9 years. I just can't see it happening anymore simply because you got to understand the reach that Pokemon has now. Pokemon is the biggest thing that ever happened globally, like around the world.
Mhm.
Pikachu is literally more known than Mickey Mouse is. That's an actual stat. Look it up. It's a real stat. Most recognizable thing ever. Pokemon, especially to people like me, man, like people pay for nostalgia, right? And especially now dude, I have a friend. This is a perfect example. I have a friend who is fairly wealthy who was into fine art. Like I'm talking 20, $30,000 pieces. And I was at his house and he has multiple of them. He has, all over his room. Those are the type of people that are really buying Pokemon cards now. Like my friend spent $20,000 in the last 2 months on Top Sun cards, dude. Like cards, like you wouldn't even if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know it's a real Pokemon card. Like, dude, I make fun of him. I'm like, bro, you gonna buy a real Pokemon card anytime soon? Like, what's up with you? But he's made it. He's made it. Dude, if he wanted to sell his collection right now, he'd probably quadruple his investment in 4 months, maybe. Because he's making calculated buys, but he also knows what he's looking at. He Top Sun is still super underrated, and he got lucky because you could buy. There's something called Buyee, Buyee, which is like a middleman from Japan. It's a website that allows you to purchase through Japan, Yahoo Japan, like all these like different Japan websites that you can't normally access from the United States. They're like a middleman. Pretty much, you go to this website, and that website lets you view all these other websites, and you buy through them. Then they ship it to that warehouse, and then those people ship it to you. So it's literally a Japan middleman. He's been buying a lot from them, and he actually got super lucky and got a deal on eBay UK, like eBay in the United Kingdom. Got like a $5,000 bundle over there. Something that's been sitting since July, and because people don't even think to look at eBay in the UK, or people in the UK just aren't big on Top Sun, that listing was from July. He bought it like a month ago. So those prices are super outdated. That's where I got lucky too. The local card shops, I went there right after, like right when coronavirus we reopened up here in New Jersey, in about, I want to say maybe July, August. Because we were shut down for like 3-4 months here. Once everything opened back up, dude, I was driving around like a madman to all these card stores because these people didn't reprice their shit over that 3 or 4 months when Pokemon was exploding because of COVID. I don't want to say because of COVID, but definitely somebody like me that took that 1,200 and put it right into Pokemon. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. I know for a fact I'm not the only one. But yeah, man, like I said, man, with the way how big everything is, with the way that social media is, with the way that all these big names are getting into it, I can't see Pokemon ever being like irrelevant ever again. That's my ridiculous opinion, but at the same time, you really got to think about it in the broader spectrum of it. One of the only reasons that Pokemon is as big as it is right now is because of social media and because of these platforms and YouTube and stuff like that. But at the same time, and I've been telling my friends this for like a year, and I've been trying to get one of my friends who has a pretty big YouTube page to get into this. Dude, Pokemon on the content side is still extremely small. Before Logan Paul's into Pokemon, a month ago, the biggest YouTuber for Pokemon is Unlisted Leaf, and he just hit 2 million. Like, if you really know YouTube and you think about it, like 2 million is nothing. Like there's random people that have 2 million that do dances and stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that, and then Leonhardt just hit 1 million. Real Breaking Nate doesn't even have 1 million yet. I think that Pokemon's still in such a room to grow from the content side that it's actually crazy because it's still so little in content. That's one of the reasons why, like everything behind me, I've opened it in a YouTube video, every single thing, and I've made its like own YouTube video, and I'm hoping that over the years, and I get comments like, "Hey man, I never knew what this was from. I'm so happy I was able to Google this and find it and know where this ever came from." People that have something from 20 years ago, they don't know what this is or how I would find it, so they Google, Gengar toy, and then I'm the first thing that pops up on YouTube, and then you see it, you're like, "Oh wow, that's where it came from." And then people will be able to go back and buy stuff, especially off my Instagram post, man. Like that's what makes it so cool to me. Like this right here, right? You see that this Blastoise and Charizard. I'm not kidding. I bought that for $50 on eBay. Okay. Posted it, made a post on Instagram. 2 weeks later, one went in auction for $280. Swear on everything. And it's sat. That's sat. Buy it now on eBay for a month maybe. I was looking at it. I bought it, posted on Instagram. The next week that it came in, the following week one went in auction for quadruple the price or 5 times the price. Wait, 50. It was like 55, and it went for 280. So almost 6 times the price. So absolutely crazy how what I feel like a lot of the things that I post, a lot of people again never even saw or maybe forgot about. And it brings people to go just straight on eBay. Like I've had a lot of people for real reach out to me. It's like, man, some of the stuff you put out, it's so crazy how 30 seconds later I just end up on eBay like so quick. It's like I need something like that. It's really cool to see because that's my main goal here, man. Is when making content is I love the cards and I'll always love the cards because that's what really got me big into Pokemon. Like I love the show, I love the game, and I love the cards when I was a kid. That was my shit. All three of them. And I love it all, but I really do love all this random stuff besides the cards that makes Pokemon amazing. Like, dude, I Pokemon Band-Aids right there. Like, like what?
I see your
like, I remember those from when I was a kid. Like, I remember getting a cut and having that, man. Like, like stuff like that. You can't pay for that. It's honestly, there's not enough money that you could pay for nostalgia, man. Nostalgia's crazy. So that's really what I'm focused on is the random items that make Pokemon amazing besides the cards. Like I said, maybe things that people forgot about or never seen before. And I love like showing that to the world and making everyone else like aware of it and spreading, the knowledge and everything Pokemon besides the cards. But again, I do love the cards too. And I really wish I bought more cards over the years that I've been into this. But you live and you learn. I've gotten some great deals now. And, I'm happy to be where I'm at for real. I love doing this stuff.
That's awesome. So real quick, to be a little more specific. Yeah. So with Pokemon like reprinting stuff, because this is something again, keep asking. Do you think that the modern sets are going to go down in value if they?
Yeah, so a bit, right? So they just reprinted Ultra Prism, right? That booster box was $500. Now it's like $160. So I don't think they're good. I don't think buying a booster box like say Ultra Prism, like obviously that was a stupid buy at $500. I wouldn't. It's still going to have to be like a little bit further down the line before you can invest in a high number booster box like that. Because Ultra Prism just came out in like 2018, just came out 2 years ago. So it would have to be like an older set that they're not going to reprint. Like they just reprinted Unbroken Bonds, right? Dude, Unbroken Bonds came out like last year. So it's not that crazy that they just printed a booster box, reprinted one that came out last year, So it's... Again, you're always at the mercy. Hey, you're always at the mercy of the Pokemon company, right? Like you never know when they're going to reprint it. Like they just announced Hidden Fates ETB reprint, but realistically, how many of those are really going to get reprinted? Also, I've heard that it's only a European exclusive with that. That's what I've heard so far. I just think so. Certain like Unbroken Bonds, right? That being reprinted is going to hurt the price, right? But Hidden Fates and Champion's Path being reprinted, I don't think will hurt the price. Because you got to understand, those are the two most sought-after sets in Pokemon right now, period. There's still, even with a reprint, there's not enough supply to meet the demand, even at retail. There isn't. It's just realistic. Trust me, man. I literally drive around a lot. You see it on Instagram. You see it, bro. I will go to 20 stores a day and see no Champion's Path. I've done it before. I will go to 10 stores a day and see nothing, no Hidden Fates, no Champion's Path, because people go and they're wiping stuff. The same people that go and wipe stuff, I went to a toy convention literally this weekend. On Friday, I was there. Dude had a whole table. You could tell he just went and wiped. He went and wiped at least one store. Had all Champion's Path, all Hidden Fates. And it was all for resale price. I went back yesterday on Sunday. It was all sold. Trust me, it'll sell. So even at resale prices, it's still selling. That's what you got to really got to look at these like sold data and sold listings, especially on eBay, and see like, well, what are these real? Yeah, they're being resold, but what are they really selling for? Is it still significant, or is it still just people trying to dump stuff off to make it cheap? What do you got? They got a drawing there. My heart is in your heart. That means we love each other. That's so cute. My goodness.
That's cool. Yeah, because I know. Some people have been worried. Honestly, I'm not worried about them reprinting. I know it's going to affect the value.
Yeah, of course. But
with these
It just depends. It
modern
just depends
sets,
the set, man.
but with these modern sets, at least for me, I'm thinking like super long term.
Yeah, that's and
Super
that's
long.
how you have to be. That's the problem is a lot of people are buying these boxes now for a short-term flip where it can be good and it can be profitable, but like I said, man, I got 30 boxes of Burning Shadows. I don't plan to touch that for at least 5 years. They're like any of it, especially with Hidden Fates too. Man, if I showed you the amount of Hidden Fate shit put away, you'd go crazy. You'd be like, "What the hell? What were you doing?" Dude, I'm telling you, from November of last year till about March or April, I could go in any Target or Walmart and find Hidden Fates. So I was wiping it. Like I
And
was getting a lot of shit.
it's funny because so when Hidden Fates came out, I was more into getting into graded cards. So I wasn't even like looking at modern sets.
Yeah.
Like, so I remember I went into Target to buy stuff to flip. I saw these Hidden Fates tins. I looked them up on eBay. I was like, oh, they don't really sell for that much more than retail.
Yeah, that
There
at
was
that
like,
point, that's the
there was
problem.
like 40 tins.
Yep.
Just sitting right there.
Yep.
I grabbed 2 pin boxes. I was like, oh, I'll just grab these are 14
Pin
bucks.
collection? Yeah.
And then I left the rest there. I was like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Dude.
I can't find any Hidden Fates now.
See, man, that's the thing. Even when I was buying it all for retail, I just knew, man, and that's why dude, I got one pin collection, one Mew pin collection I got off of eBay that was busted up, and I opened that in a YouTube video. Then I bought something off of a guy who threw in 3 different packs, and those are the only 7 packs I ever opened of Hidden Fates. Right there, I just told you exactly what they were, and I don't plan on opening any of them. I just plan on it's my long-term investment. That's my real like long-term bag, like serious long-term because like I said, even right now, dude, I have 8 Hidden Fates ETBs. Most people have 0. Most people might have 1. I have 8 that I got for $60 each because I knew Hidden Fates was going to be crazy and I never touched them. A lot of people open those Elite Trainer boxes. That's the crazy thing. Again, I'm going to have to still see until like what the numbers really are. I don't think the Hidden Fates ETBs are going to be like mass distributed like people think they are. There's people that think they're going to get like 50 or 100 of them. I don't really think so. But also, back real quick to that Ultra Prism booster box, I actually think it's still a good buy at like 160, even though there's nothing really in Ultra Prism. Even with this reprint, they still didn't make a lot of Ultra Prism booster boxes, like period, as it is. Like that's the only reason that it was actually expensive before it got reprinted is because they didn't make a lot of them. They still didn't make a lot of them. When you really break down and understand like the supply and demand of Pokemon, that's what you really got to learn into. Again, I suggest anybody who's getting into Pokemon, these are the 3 people that really helped me a lot on YouTube: TCA Gaming, Z&G Emporium, and SM Pratt. Like those 3 really, I got a lot of great insight from them, and they're kind of like mostly older stuff, but still give good insight on the newer stuff and where the market's been and where it could go. Especially SM Pratt, like that's probably my favorite page on YouTube. Just the amount of information that guy has, and it's crazy too because that guy's been around for like 20 years. So he's been here when Pokemon was alive. He's been here when Pokemon was dead. He's been here. He's been through the market cycles. Like I said before, with crypto, there's market cycles, period, and everything. Will the prices always keep going up in Pokemon? No, it's impossible. Like there's no way. Like it's nothing just appreciates forever. Of course, there will be, slight tick downs. Like even right now, we're talking about it right now with the booster boxes. Team Up was $300. Unbroken Bonds was $300. They're both like 2 something now. They're like 220ish, 230ish. So they've already, we're already seeing a little bit of a decline on current like modern booster boxes. But how long will that go for? Will they reprint Team Up again? Are they going to reprint Burning Shadows again? Probably not. But like right now, the demand with Pokemon, right? They're cashing out. They ain't stupid. They know what this is. A lot of people don't realize like, yeah, it's for kids. Like it's made for someone like your daughter. But realistically, it's a business, and they know what people want to buy. That's why Hidden Fates and Champion's Path are both getting reprints right now because that's what people need. People want it. Especially people that are newer getting into the hobby that never had a chance, then will never see a Hidden Fates ETB for under $400. It's again just supply and demand. But like you said, we're always, and like I said before, we're always at the mercy of Pokemon, no matter what. Whenever they feel like doing something, they can just do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think also it's important to understand that You mentioned this, but Pokemon in and of itself as a franchise just keeps growing.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like I think what's different, what's really one of the biggest differences between like what happened in sports cars like in the 90s is the fact that you don't have the internet.
That too, dude. A lot of Pokemon shit is a lot of media and stuff is missing because didn't make it from the transition from no internet to internet. Like Pokemon popsicles, right? There's a sticker and there's a lot of them that confirms that there was more than one. But there's only pictures that exist of Gengar and Pikachu. So until someone has a picture of any of them, any other ones, that's the only ones that exist. With pictures of them, stuff like that, random stuff that gets lost. In the transition from the internet because it came out pretty much in the transition to the internet, 1999, 2000, right when that was really happening.
Yeah, for sure.
And, at the end of this year, Google is shutting down. Was it Shock Player or whatever? Like the Wayback Machine, all those websites that have all these different players on it. So you could right now you can go. It's a website called Wayback Machine, and you can go and look at all these old websites from 20, 30 years ago. Java, I believe it is. I'm pretty sure Google is shutting down JavaScript. So that's what all these websites run off of. So I have a friend, Grace Mew is me, that's going to go and try and archive a lot of, go through the Pokemon website, go through a lot of these older websites and try and archive it for a YouTube video so you can still go through it, Stuff like that. Stuff like that is really cool to me. Like all this Pokemon history stuff. I love stuff like that.
Cool, man. All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap up with just some rapid fire questions.
Go ahead.
All right, man. First question, though. Would you rather buy vintage cars raw or graded?
Raw, man. That's look, dude. Let me show you real quick. Literally, look at this right here. Literally to my left, I had to take one stack off the newer stuff. Look, these are all raw hollows. These are all raw WotC hollows. This is probably like 300 or 400 of them. That's my main thing. I'm trying. So like, why would I go buy a Shadowless Blastoise PSA 8 for $2,000 when I got this Blastoise that I believe can be a PSA 8 or a 7? I got that for $100. So it's one of those where I haven't graded yet, but it's definitely something this is all like the newer stuff too. So I haven't graded anything yet ever in my life, but I definitely plan on it. That's my move, is definitely to try. It's harder, way harder. That a lot of people like to get PSA graded card just because it takes away the middleman. You don't have to wait for PSA for 6 months. You don't got to spend the $75 to get it expedited. So that people pay for the convenience and for the fact that they know it's mint, right? And again, me being I love the hunt, man. The hunt is what makes it amazing. So I love going and hunting and just trying to find raw cards that I know I can grade. So a lot of other cards that if I get them and I know I can't grade them, for the most part I'll sell them. Like that's what I sell on my eBay. A lot of cards that I'll get cards on a lot, and a couple of them will be mint, and a couple of them will be net. So I'll just sell them, or maybe I'll get a card for a good price and it's not as mint as I want to, so I'll just sell it off and just keep that process going. But I will definitely take the risk on raw cards over graded cards.
Awesome. What's your favorite Pokemon?
Blastoise, man, always has. My first starter, and man, just being a little kid, and again, this is what I got. I'll never forget getting blue version from Toys R Us with my dad. I literally remember grabbing it off the shelf and everything. I'll never forget that. So Blastoise forever will be my favorite.
Awesome. Favorite music artist?
Wow, that's a good one. Currently or all time?
Let's do all time.
Damn, music. My favorite music artist ever. I'm gonna man, that is a hard one, man. Holy shit. I'm gonna have to say Currency. That's somebody. He's an underground rapper who I discovered in around 2010 from my friend Carl, and I went to I've gone to maybe 10 of his shows. It's one of my favorite rappers who I feel like is super underrated. He actually was signed with Lil Wayne under the same label when they were both like kind of coming up, like before Lil Wayne was famous. That was like his duo, was Currency. And man, just consistency, man. That's what he is. He's super underrated. He's super consistent. He puts out 10 projects a year, and he's a legend. but he's still low key about it. He's super rich, super living, but he's still low key, and it's unfortunate that he won't be one that gets his flowers until he's dead. And that's a lot of people are like that. They won't, get the recognition they deserve until they die, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say Currency, man. Currency, the hot spit of 2010. It's been a huge fan ever since. Um, but a lot of people like that too. Besides him, like Wiz Khalifa got me super into just anything that looked like that whole era of like underground rap, like Smoke DZA, a lot of that, like Action Bronson, a lot of these big underground rappers that I feel like not personally connected to, but definitely what I enjoyed doing as a teenager and like a young adult. And I'm happy that I, stuck to that, and it's kind of what I do like now. It's crazy. It's funny you asked that too, because I actually, with my friend Sal, aka Stacks, we over the last year have actually built. You walk in, it's a gaming station. Like this whole station I'm sitting at right now, I have that same exact one in the studio. Then you walk in, and it's like a podcast station. Then you walk into the other side of that, it's a music station. I was almost gonna go to the studio for this interview, but I just wanted to have like the Pokemon stuff in the background. So music is actually something I really always liked and always, was a nerd about. So it's something I'm actually working on, producing and making some music myself now. But mostly, like I said, we made that studio too to do like podcasts. It's like all three in one: the gaming setup, the podcast, and the music studio. It's all in one. It's pretty crazy.
That's what's up, man. So if you could only invest in one Pokemon, so whether it's cards, merch, whatever, one Pokemon outside of the big three and Pikachu, so outside of Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu, and their evolutionary lines, what Pokemon would you invest in?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, that's a good question. Maybe Mew, maybe like Eevee, maybe like just other popular Pokemon, because no matter what, there'll always be a market for it just because they're popular. That like I always say that there's so many people that like I wish my favorite Pokemon wasn't Blastoise, because of course he's like the second most expensive on everything. So more of these like low key Pokemon are gonna be cheaper, like Poliwrath, Machamp. A lot of these are just less sought after because they're not as popular. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say, damn, I'm just like thinking around trying to think of any other Pokemon besides Pikachu and the three starters. Um, Probably Mew, man. I think I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go Mew, or maybe like up there got like Snorlax, like other popular Pokemon that would still go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mew because there's a lot of different Mew cards that are sought after, that are worth a lot simply because people love Mew. I'll say that Mew.
All right. And then last question.
All right,
So
sounds good, man.
what celebrity or big name person, whether it's a musician, actor, whoever, do you hope gets into Pokemon within the next 3 to 5 years?
I want to see someone like young but still appreciate it, that he has a huge following, like Billie Eilish. Like that would be cool. If someone like her, who's massive influence, just so happened that she loved Pokemon all her life, like someone like that level. Because Justin Bieber, I don't know if you've seen already, is into Pokemon. Justin
Yeah,
Bieber is
I've seen that.
freaking icon, man. So you can't deny how big the dude is. So I'd like to see somebody like on his level. So the first person that just came to my mind would be like Billie Eilish. That would be cool, simply because she's a global phenomenon. She's so big, and maybe if she just liked, you never know, if she liked Pokemon as a kid growing up, it resonates with a lot of people. So that resonating back and being personal about it, like you can't really take that away from people. So I think someone like her, like I said, someone that's I love the fact that the younger generation still loves it. That makes me happy. So I'd like to see someone that's huge of the younger generation like that just come out and be like, yeah, I love Pokemon too, and now I'm into this. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Which, as a side note, I mean, I think that's another reason why Pokemon is like never going away until like the world ends,
Yeah, for real,
because
real shit.
you still have these little kids who love it, like, and then they're going to get older and want to get back into it. Like
Yeah,
it's going
so
to be this whole
dude.
cycle.
One last point before I go. Right, so before we go here, you were saying before about like you asked me a question about like, oh, is Pokemon ever going to turn out like baseball cards, football cards, etc. baseball cards and all that, sports cards still has the most money in it because of the older generation that has all this money that has always been in the cards, right? The cards has been around for 80, 100 years. Most, like, Pokemon doesn't resonate with our generation. I mean, Pokemon does it better and more than sports does.
Mhm.
Like, I love the Yankees and I always will, but I don't really care to watch them all day anymore. I grew up with the Yankees. My dad loved the Yankees. I went to a million games. Dude, I swear I've been to 100 Yankee games. Not kidding. Easily. So, because my dad used to work for some company that would get tickets all the time. We used to live 10 minutes away to 20 minutes away. So we used to go all the time. So, but I don't care to watch the Yankees. Like, I don't, like, all right, like Derek Jeter retired. I was sad. But ever since then, I don't really care anymore. And it's not like I can't see something that's going to make me want to go back and care about baseball the way I did when I was a kid still. Even though it resonated me with my dad, it's not, it's like, I don't really care. I know, I'm telling you straight up, I don't. Whereas Pokemon, it's something that you might have did with your parents, but it was mostly something that you enjoyed as a kid and your parents didn't like. So now that you're an adult, you still enjoy it. And now, even if you have kids, like, of course you're going to share it with your kids. And your kids are going to love it because it's Pokemon and it's still, what it is. So that's why I think Pokemon is different than sports in that aspect. I think we're going to see a big change in climate in the next maybe 20 or 30 years. And I think that Pokemon is going to take over sports cards in that aspect just because the nostalgia factor is bigger and the money is going to shift towards Pokemon. That's my opinion.
I agree. I think it's also going to become even more culturally relevant.
Yeah.
You already saw with Logic.
It already is.
Rappers, more actors, like flexing Pokemon cards. Like, it's going to be crazy.
It's fine art. It's literally fine art at this point, dude. It's nuts.
100%. All right, dude. I think when I messaged you, I was like, yeah, 30, 45 minutes. This is like been over an hour.
Yeah.
It's just been so much fun. We're going to have to do this again.
Yeah, bro, I'm down. It's good chatting with you, man. It was awesome.
All right, man. Well, you take care. Thanks again for being on. And go follow, man, guys. Go follow this man, Vintage Pokemon at Vintage Pokemon Hunter
on Instagram.
I'll put all of his stuff in the description. Go follow this guy. And Nunez,
appreciate that.
Anthony,
make sure to go chatting with you, bro. I'll definitely make sure to share this and shout you out. I appreciate that. Appreciate you having me.